It's wonderful being right here in Central Texas, in San Antonio, and connecting personally. But for many people who are out there, I want to draw attention to the community town hall to discuss healthcare and taxes that will happen this Saturday afternoon at the Ella Austin Center. It's open to everyone. We'll begin about 3 o'clock. I will also be doing a town hall focused on veterans with State Senator Jose Menendez on DAC and other opportunities to hear from people personally. There are many issues we can talk about, but I'd be pleased to respond to your questions.
Okay. North Korea.
Well, in recent months, I've been to Seoul, Korea. I have been to the demilitarized zone. I don't think that people here really fully understand. This is as if in Schertz there were artillery firing on San Antonio. We would see hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people killed from a military offensive there. And so what we need are fewer tweets and fewer tirades and more engagement to try to bring the sanctions, the Chinese, and our own diplomatic power to effect to do something. I don't see any progress having been made by the Trump administration because they've tried to handle it by tweet and threat, and that's not going to work.
He had some rather strong words which they say were specifically targeted for
You know, from listening to the generals who weren't consulted and generals who served there, they don't feel that this kind of threatening language, this apocalyptic language, is at all helpful. It makes the North Koreans feel even threatened and probably accelerates their program rather than reducing it.
This morning, Rex Tillerson is saying that Americans can sleep well knowing they are safe because North Korea is not an imminent threat.
Well, it's good to hear him say that about North Korea not being an imminent threat. It may well be that we have to rely on nuclear deterrence, similar to that was effective with China and with the former Soviet Union. I don't think that the leader of North Korea is a madman. I think he responds to our deterrence, but he is very erratic and unpredictable. As far as sleeping well at night, I don't think any of us can sleep too well when we don't know what tweet or what impulsive action President Trump will take next. The greatest dangers that we face from him are not here at home, as ill-advised as some of his policy is, but they are the possibility of him getting us either intentionally or accidentally into a conflict that's really difficult to get out of.
There was another attack in Paris.
It's very alarming. Certainly we have to maintain a fully funded and able security in this country to avoid that. But I think there's a bigger issue. While I don't have all the details on Paris, my experience, particularly with France, is that too much of the Muslim community there has been isolated in segregated places within the society. Here in America, just as we need all of our neighborhoods participating locally to make community policing work, we need our Muslim community actively engaged. That's why I continue to do outreach to it. There are many people of good faith there who want to assure that there's nothing like this happening in America. They can be our eyes and ears at the mosque around the country to be sure that radicalization from Saudi Arabia or elsewhere is not occurring here.
What kind of legislation are you working on?
Well, I'm working on a range of legislation. I serve as the ranking Democrat on the tax policy subcommittee, and so I'm very concerned that we not see more tax cuts just for those at the top, that a pharmaceutical manufacturer doesn't get better tax breaks than the local corner pharmacy, and that to the extent we make changes in the tax code, we focus on the middle class, particularly on things like the American Opportunity Tax Credit that I authored to provide more higher educational opportunity, and on the child tax credit. There are ways that our tax code can help advance the interest of the American economy and working families, but not by giving all the benefits to those at the top.
Are you paying any close attention to the Texas special session?
Well, I find it rather alarming that we're so distracted about bathrooms when the focus ought to be on strengthening our school finance system. Just having another commission. I served in the Texas State Senate. I served on the Texas Supreme Court when we invalidated the Texas school finance provisions as unconstitutional. We need the kind of commitment that the House of Representatives have shown there in Austin to respond on school finance. That's really my biggest concern.
Anything else?
Yes, I believe that the only reason that we saw the demise of the health care repeal was not just the single courageous vote of Senator John McCain, but it was the outpouring of concern across this community and across America, telling the stories of how neighbors and family members would be hurt by a repeal without an adequate replacement. Healthcare continues to hang by a thread for thousands of families across Bexar County and in Travis County as well. And we need that sustained involvement to ensure that any changes in the healthcare law make it better, address rising premiums and copays, and does not take away healthcare and access to a family physician from families here.